Leningrad Documentary Film Studios. Every evening at the same time. Every evening, this majestic hall fills with music and comes to life. The Kirov Opera and Ballet Theater in Leningrad. Early in the morning. The drummer of the orchestra is one of the first musicians to turn up here. It's impossible to rehearse during the daytime. The bells are so loud that they drown out everything. It's time for the daily rehearsals. At 11, the chorus has gathered.
Все на улицу, пожалуйста. А? Нет, не поете, не нужно петь.
The chief chorus conductor of the theater is People's Artist of the Soviet Union, Alexander Murin. He has been conducting the chorus for more than a quarter of a century.
Чтобы было чисто. Пожалуйста, послушайте еще раз. Вот это должно быть очень светло в мажоре, а то все это низко, и кого-то в миноре мы поем.
They are rehearsing a scene from the new production, Mayakovsky Begins.
Спойте ды-ды-ды-ды-ды. Все до ды-ды. Раз, два, и. Спасибо. Раз, два, и.
This hall has witnessed the emergence of great artistic discoveries. The theater's history begins from 1783, following a special decree signed by Empress Catherine II. This is how the first building looked, a big theater built of stone on a square in St. Petersburg. In honor of the theater, the square was renamed Theatrical. For 200 years, the history of the theater has been closely linked with the development of Russian and world culture. The Russian opera, which won worldwide acclaim, appeared first on its stage. The unusual fame of the Russian ballet started from here. The great choreographers, Maurice Petipa, Lev Ivanov, Mikhail Fokin, the famous singer, Leonid Sobinov. The theater's chief conductor, Eduard Napravnik, stood at the conductor's podium for 52 years. And the famous Shalapin sang here. His fame became worldwide, Fyodor Shalapin became the first people's artist of the Republic. The incomparable Anna Pavlova. For her, Falkin directed Saint-Saëns' The Dying Swan. It seemed the ballerina danced not a dance, but the music itself, and she herself was the music. An important year for the theater was 1836. The ads then announced that for the first time, the Russian opera, Life for the Tsar, would be staged. A national hero appeared on the stage, Ivan Susanin. People's artists of the Soviet Union, Galina Kovalyova as Antonida, and Boris Shtokolov as Ivan Susanin. That is how the Russian opera came into being. Glinka, Rimsky-Korsakov, Dargomyshsky, Borodin, Tchaikovsky, Mussorgsky. Mussorgsky's opera Havanshina. People's artist of the Soviet Union, Irina Bogacheva as Marfa. Rimsky-Korsakov's opera, Piskovitianka. The theater today carefully preserves its classical heritage. New generations of artists learn from the classics. The best features of the Leningrad Classical School of Ballet are imbued in Irina Kolpakova. The name of this ballerina, a hero of socialist labor and people's artist of the Soviet Union, is known throughout the world. Today she is dancing Aurora in the ballet Sleeping Beauty. Music by Tchaikovsky, Choreography, Petit Pas. Irina Kolpakova is a blend of talent, hard work, skill, and high professionalism. She became the first to dance many characters in ballets by outstanding modern choreographers, Grigorovich, Belsky, Jakobson. Yet first of all, she is a superb classical ballerina. The usual concept about a theater is that it is primarily a stage, although behind the stage, behind the performers, there are hundreds of people who work hard and are loyal to the theater. For example, here in the costume room, there are 24 women at work. Each of them dresses 7 or 8 ballerinas and as many opera singers. Nevertheless, the theater is primarily performers. Of course, they are always out front. Evgenia Gorokhovskaya starts her daily rehearsals with the aria of Razina from Rossini's opera The Barber of Seville.
Понапрасну она меня дурачит. Уйдите за балкона. Слышите ли вы, что говорю я? Скорей уйдите.
Слышу,
Что ж решать?
At the moment, concertmaster Andrei Belitsky is a teacher, Don Bartolo, and Figaro, one man in 3. Later on the stage, Figaro will be played by Valery Lebed.
Ах, там написано.
Ах, мне стыдно!
Да. И здесь, ах, сделайте.
Ах, мне
Ну,
стыдно!
вот. Ну еще. Что ж решайтесь?
Нет, мне трудно!
Почему же?
Я не смею!
Цвета строчки.
Ах, мне трудно!
Ах, мне стыдно.
Ах, мне стыдно!
Ах,
Мне стыдно!
Ах, сделайте вы.
Ах, мне стыдно!
Вот. Ну еще раз.
Ну,
Что ж решайтесь?
Нет, мне трудно!
Почему же?
Я не смею!
Цвета строчки.
Ах, мне стыдно!
Стыдно вам, но чего ж, кого? О, пишите поскорее.
Фигаро, письмецо, ах, вот оно!
Фигаро, я не понимаю, что вы хотите этим сказать.
Фигаро!
Останавливать его или что вы говорите?
Конечно, останавливай.
Ага. Ну, вот
Фигаро.
Яснее. О, пишите поскорее.
Фигаро, письмецо, ах, вот оно!
Да, еще более приготовьтесь жизнь. Ах,
Вот
Ну,
амор.
это я спел, а теперь вы. Пишите поскорее.
Фигаро. Письмецо. Ах, вот оно.
Уже стоим. Может, тарарам-пам-пам, уже стоят. Стоим. Уже за тактом. Раз, кабриоль, купе. Раз, уже пошла шинель. Балансе выворотная. Ты не переворачивайся. И раз, балансе на выворотную ногу.
Tatiana Legat is rehearsing the dancers. Her grandfather and great-grandfather were dancers of the Mariinsky Theater.
И не заглядывай туда, Рита. Ну, живые ножки, Ритуля. Раз, через пассе. Так. И балансе собрать ручки. Поворачиваем так же. И пальма. Коротко. Раз, уже готово. И круче, Наташа. Накрозаешь же нога. Ты совсем по прямой стоишь. Ага. Ну, спасибо, девушки.
Подойди. И вы сейчас не забывайте корпус, руки беляйте. Назад больше.
Once long ago, young Legat and Tahir Baltachev stood timidly in these very same premises. Then they became soloists and famous masters. But the artistic life of a dancer is short.
И музыку. Дальше. И раз. Вот так, хотя бы так. Стоять, стоять. Так.
The ballet group of the Kirov Theater is one of the most famous in the world. Heading it is the chief ballet master of the theater, people's artist of the Soviet Union, Oleg Vinogradov.
Конечно, эта труппа не похожа ни на одну из существующих.
This group is quite unlike all others existing now or earlier for the contribution which it made to the development of world choreography.
Вот эта труппа внесла в развитие мировой хореографии. Дело в том, что все шедевры, наиболее значительные из произведений хореографии, которые
All the world masterpieces of choreography, which make up a golden fund and represent a standard of classical productions of various contemporary generations, various aesthetic trends. All of them at different times were presented on this stage.
в разные времена. Ну и ведь что интересно, что в свое время даже хореографы...
It is interesting that those choreographers who in their time came to St. Petersburg when this theater was founded and when the St. Petersburg Ballet was crystallizing, be it Didlot or Perrault, Saint-Léon or Petit Pas, while working in this theater, they all became Russian choreographers.
Становились русскими хореографами. И вот это самый большой и важный секрет в том, что кто бы что...
This is the most important secret. No matter what anyone does in this beautiful city, he is subjected to the laws of this beauty, with its architecture, broad expanses, and it compels him to breathe differently, to think differently, and naturally, to create differently.
Конечно, творить по-другому.
Chopiniana, the immortal work of Mikhail Fokin, a world of fleeting images. corps de ballet of the Kirov Theater is regarded as a miracle from Leningrad, a unique group for its artistry, sense of music, and beauty. It is distinguished by artistic perfection and has won acclaim in many countries. The beauty of ballet lies in its complicated nature. Its most distinguishing feature is that it can be passed on, so to speak, from one leg to another. A painter leaves behind canvases, a composer notes, a writer publishes and republishes books, while ballet exists only when it is being danced, when it is being shown. It's impossible to record it. It can only be filmed. Yet it is possible to demonstrate, to learn, to preserve ballet only when one artist passes it on to another. And so over a period of more than 100 years, such productions of Bayadera, Giselle, Sylphida, and Swan Lake have come down to us, and that's how it will be in the future. Ballet will always be demonstrated, and its movements will be conveyed from one soul to another, from eye to eye, from leg to leg. Herein lies its remarkable beauty. Ballet master and experimenter Vinogradov has directed the production of Inspector General to the music of Alexander Tchaikovsky. It would be impossible to stage this ballet without an acting dancer who could fathom the essence of a character. Lestakov, played by Vadim Gulyaev. Town Commissioner by Nikolai Kovmir. Maria Antonovna by Natalia Bolshakova. The Russian ballet has always drawn from lofty literature. Romeo and Juliet, The Fountain of Bakhchi-Sarai, The Copper Horseman. And now the time has come to stage the immortal works of the satirist Gogol.
театр сохраняет очень какие-то законы и
This
каноны.
theater preserves the laws and canons of our art, and at the same time, it is trying different styles. I believe the Kirov Theater is now engaged in very intensive and interesting work. A new Soviet ballet started to crystallize in the 1930s. A whole galaxy of young artists appeared on the Leningrad stage. It sparkled with the talent of the great Ulanova.
Все равно я считаю, что Ленинград, это я так вот случайно здесь, в общем, долго прижила.
I consider that my stay here in Moscow was a coincidence, and in general, the main part of my life is connected with Leningrad, for it will forever remain in my heart. Quite often when speaking to people, I would say, well, at home in Leningrad, it simply runs in my veins. After all, it is my hometown. I breathe differently there. When I arrive at the station and walk down Nevsky Avenue, it seems that finally I am breathing my own air. I still have that feeling today, not to mention the theater itself. Galina Ulanova and Konstantin Sergeyev. Whoever saw them on the stage has seen the ultimate in dancing.
Очень много сделано вот в те годы нового и молодые какие-то годы. Вот. Мне было очень трудно.
In those years, very many new things were accomplished. And after Sergeyev, it was very difficult for me. Actually, we clicked off together, if it is possible to say so. And it was very difficult to find understanding in other partners, although they too were very good. Yet it is with a feeling of gratitude that I remember how fortunate I was in those first years.
В те первые годы так мне как-то повезло и посчастливилось.
People's artist of the Soviet Union, Natalia Dudinskaya, also appeared on the theater stage in the 1930s.
Вы будете снимать, пока я одеваюсь, да? Вот, когда я училась в школе, можно я буду сказать? Когда я училась в школе, у меня была такая ужасно нескромная мечта.
May I start telling? When I was at school, I had a very immodest dream. Only later did I come to understand how immodest it was. I dreamed I could dance so well that all the best dancers of that time wanted to dance with me.
И вы знаете, моя мечта сбылась. Я не знаю, насколько я достигла того, так сказать, ну что ли.
And you know, my dream came true. I don't know to what extent, but I really was fortunate. I had wonderful partners. I danced with Vakhtang Chabukiani for 10 years. Natalia Dudinskaya and Vakhtang Chabukiani.
У нас были до войны таких два дуэта.
Before the war, we had two duets. Sergeyev danced with Galina Ulanova, and I danced with Vakhtang Chabukiani.
Это распалось само собой, потому что Галина Сергеевна уехала в Москву.
During the war, this fell apart because Ulanova moved to Moscow. Vakhtang went to Tbilisi. And when we were evacuated to Perm, Konstantin Sergeyev and I began dancing together. And that was the beginning of our creative cooperation. The first production brought us very close together, spiritually. Otherwise, it would have been simply impossible. While in Perm, in the dim light of a dark hall, he opened up before me the wonderful world of Cinderella.
При копчушке, при ужасной какой-то маленькой лампочке, в темном зале,
He staged Cinderella together with Sergei Prokofiev, who traveled to Perm to work with Sergeyev. They really worked hard then. Sergeyev was the prince in Cinderella, and I found my prince who helped me in my creativity and in my life.
Именно потому что он был принцем в «Золушке», и я нашла своего принца, который мне помог и в творчестве, и в жизни.
Нет, ну я вот здесь, вот так. Ну вот нет, я принес. Вот теперь начинаем. Вот сюда, вот это, вот это сюда, так.
Только я не так делаю.
Ну хорошо. Вот теперь здесь, да?
Не так же мы делаем.
Ну а как?
Мы делаем в другую сторону.
Ну как?
Вот ты меня принес. Вот так. Вот так. И теперь вот с этой стороны ты стоишь. Вот так. Вот так. И теперь ты переходишь. Ты даешь руку.
Так, выше ручки, так. Руками.
Держи ручку подольше, держи,
так.
Хорошо,
Опускай. О, хорошо.
Хорошо.
Так. Так. Шире. Так. Очень хорошо. Стоп. Очень хорошо.
Вот что еще мне рассказать вам?
People's artist of the Soviet Union, Konstantin Sergeyev, a remarkable dancer and ballet master, and Natalia Dudinskaya left the stage at the end of the 1950s. Yet their pupils, their followers, are continuing to dance. Dudinskaya is a teacher, and Sergeyev is the artistic director of the Vaganova Choreography School in Leningrad. Recently, the admirers of Dudinskaya's talent, the public and artists, celebrated the 70th birthday of the outstanding ballerina. The Kirov Theater today boasts a diverse repertory. It includes more than 50 productions of Russian, Soviet, and foreign authors. The ballet, Notre Dame de Paris, directed by the French ballet master Roland Petit, to the music of Jara. Esmeralda is danced by Olga Chenchikova. Remains true to remarkable traditions and gives stage life to new productions. Opera, Peter I. Its heroes are the people and the Tsar, Peter the Great. The role of Peter is one of the best in the repertory of people's artist of the Soviet Union, Vladimir Morozov.
Алексашка, веди себя чинно и отвлекательно. Вот и пригодных не говори, замысл.
Как можно, Минхер, неужто политеху не знаешь?
The fort is played by Sergei Leferkus and Menshikov by Yevgeny Бойцов.
Его благородие Петр Михайлов партитуру колыбельную изучил весьма основательно и хорошо разумел. Помогал в настроении приказ Петр Михайлов и других во всех премудростях, так очень преуспел. Очень преуспел! Годом с чертами в лето Господне 1698 года. Жила бы только Россия, великая Россия, и имя ее. Жила бы только Россия, великая Россия, и
The production of Peter I has already been acclaimed by contemporaries. The people who made it: composer Andrei Petrov, conductor Yuri Timirkanov, stage directors Natalia Kasatkina and Vladimir Vasilyov, chorus master Alexander Murin and Vladimir Morozov, who plays Peter I, have been awarded the state prize of the Soviet Union. Every theater has its own old-timers. Actually, without them, there would be no theatrical life. These people are living history.
Преображенская, напомню, я графиня Кипри. Это Леночка Образцова. Это в шляпке. Мы ее пригласили, она принесла целый ворох. Мы выбирали сами. Вот сам князь Юрий Хатуевич. Осветителем, моим друзьям светить и никаких гвоздей. Тимирканов. Алло, пожалуйста. Александр Григорьевич Мурин. Орден его наградили. Как только наградили, мы сразу здесь его портрет с орденом.
Alexander Abramov is responsible for artistic lighting, and like anyone in the theater, he has his own opinion on everything.
Я говорю, не модно сейчас, когда говорят, что нравится там Берkeley, Лебединое озеро, Спящая красавица.
It is not the fashion now to say I like Bayadera, Swan Lake, Sleeping Beauty. Now it is a war of repertories, as they say. The Guisar's Ballad, Inspector General.
Надо сделать было на эту музыку, что преподнесли.
Actually, my daughter liked the latter very much, but I like Bayadera, an old classical production. It was a real pleasure to illuminate the sets. The colors were very beautiful.
Все хорошо, любой цвет принимает.
Minka's ballet, Bayadera. Nikia, People's Artist of the Soviet Union, Gabriela Komleva. Solar, Marat Daukayev. Preserving its great classical heritage, the theater responds to the requirements of the times. A new production, Mayakovsky, begins. The Artistic Council discusses a model of the sets.
Туда проникает поэт. Вышибала, которую мы делаем, уже сделали. Из троих посредине стоит бас, а вокруг него два артиста-миманца, которые изображают его руки. Они будут под его огромным пальто. В общем, такой огромный, это самый вышибала, через которого он как дверь еще поворачивается, так, дверь. И поэты, декаденты туда входят в кафе поэтов, а нашему поэту вход...
Mayakovsky, the poet of the workers, struggled for the revolution not only with his poems, but with posters and drawings, whose motives were creatively applied by the theater's chief artistic director, Igor Ivanov. This production is the joint effort of People's Artists of the Soviet Union, composer Andrei Petrov, and Yuri Timirkanov, the artistic leader and chief conductor of the theater. Mayakovsky Begins is a complex production, an opera with elements of ballet and drama. This production, as well as the opera Peter I, is directed by Natalia Kasatkina and Vladimir Vasilyov. The rebel poet is played by Vladimir Morozov, and the young singer, Grigory Karasyov.
Так, значит, пошли туда, так, поворот вы делаете? Вокруг себя все плавненько. Отступили туда еще. Так, туда. Так, еще раз повернули.
А вы на тюр сыграть могли бы на флейте водосточных труб? Я сразу смазал карту будня, плеснувший краску из стакана. Я показал на блюде сотня косые скулы океана. На чешуе жестяной рыбы прочел я зове новых губ. А вы ноктюрн сыграть могли бы на флейте водосточных труб.
Right from the first days of the revolution, the Mariinsky Theater, the oldest Russian musical theater, welcomed its new spectators and sided with the people. The subject of the artist and his time, the artist and the people, is important to the theater today.
Заглушав эти потоки, я шагну через лирические домики, как живой, живыми говоря.
Director of the theater, Maxim Krastin. The premiere of Mayakovsky Begins coincides with the 200th anniversary of the theater. Creative collaboration with authors, searching for new means of expression, searching for new subjects, bringing in new talent, This is what probably distinguishes this theater. History itself can now remind us of the names of Shostakovich, Prokofiev, Shaporin, Khrennikov, Kobalevsky. Somewhat later, Rodion Shchedrin, Dzerzhinsky. Many Soviet composers, both beginners and old-timers, have brought their works to the Kirov Theater, and we always tried to put them on stage. We have also directed our efforts towards modern topics by contemporary authors, such as the Leningrad Symphony by Shostakovich, first staged in our theater.
Это Ленинградская симфония на музыку Шостаковича, которая впервые увидела свет на нашей сцене. Извините. Да-да? Угу. Да-да-да. Я слушаю.
The theater is closely linked with the life of Leningrad and many other cities and regions of the country. The theater's tours of the past and future cover a great deal of territory.
В Москву мы выезжаем 15 мая. Да, заканчиваются гастроли 13 июня. Ну, есть. Счастливо. До свидания. Алло.
Deputy Director of the City Zoo is calling. Truly, even the noble Rocinante today cannot do without the help of zoo workers. In the evening, the theater presents Minko's ballet, Don Quixote. This is no jubilee or premiere. It's a routine production. But for the audience, it may be the first and perhaps the only production they will ever see. The last moment before the curtain goes up.
Будьте добры, принесите ножницы для Тереховой. Пожалуйста, портнихи, принесите ножницы для Тереховой. Пошли, не пугай, не пирайся.
Да.
Можно убирать свет в зале. Спасибо. На сцене можно свет? На сцене уберем свет, да, потому что очень много народу. Спасибо. Можно убрать. Спасибо. Начинаем спектакль. Дирижер идет в оркестр. Пожалуйста, потише теперь. Пожалуйста, потише, девушки.
Tatyana Tereshova dances Kitri.
Стоп. Ребятки, в сторонку немножко. Тут наши животные волнуются.
For many decades, Don Quixote has brought pleasure and delight both to audiences and to performers. Vital, enrapturing, it catches one's heart, and by the unbridled passion of the dance.
Еще. Одинься еще раз. Давай, я подержу. Молодец.
Мне кажется, я очень тебе видела, нет?
Общий? Не хотят. Иди спать, не торопится. Ой, не только не торопится.
The ballet was being performed brilliantly, on one breath, so to say. And all of a sudden, the unexpected. Before the last act, Tatiana Terekhova injured her foot.
Ножки не очень. Если будет у меня плохо с ногой, мне не встать на ногу.
Так, подбежали к папаше.
Ну, так, останемся. Володя, нет. Да.
Ну ладно, все, да? Разогрелась. Да, Танюша?
Разогрелась? Да.
Все, я приглашаю дирижера. Ни пуха, ни пера всем. Таня, забирай туфли твои.
Я сама.
Я пригласила дирижера. Будьте внимательны, занавес почти сразу.
The ballerina makes an agreement with conductor Fedotov, just in case the foot hurts badly and she has to change her act.
Если пошла сюда, Понятно, да?
Сказал, что в первом акте что-то случилось. Так что ты отказался? Если ты сказал, что давай это сделаем.
Замораживали, нет?
Ничего не сделали.
У меня жгучка была на ночь.
Все мы можем
Ну, давай немножко сейчас разо мной, и будет легче. Так. Да не упрямся, давай его немножко сделаем.
Я боюсь же, там же жгучка.
Ну и что, на жгучку подумай, это ж не поворотил тебе, давай немножко разо мной хотя бы.
Нет, нет.
Давай.
Вот у меня вот это место единственное.
Ну, над косточкой вот здесь, да? Может, сядешь?
Раздвинь, да, свет? Раздвинь свет.
Нет.
Все, спасибо, Алуша.
Может, тебя на той стороне света?
The audience did not even suspect what had happened, but everyone behind the curtains was anxious.
Ленский? Ленский, где Ленский?
The opera theater is strange. perhaps even a bit old-fashioned. More strongly than any other, it clings to the past. But that is what is good about it. Where else can you see a prompter? Yevgeny Orleansky graduated from the conservatory. He has been working in the theater for many years. They are rehearsing Tchaikovsky's opera Eugene Onegin.
Одно привычное желание. Одно. Не, одно привычное желание, Лешенька. Одно привычное желание. Одно. Привычное желание. Одна. Привычная. Одна привычная. Отвечаю.
The musical leader and director of the production is Yuri Timirkanov. A musician of world fame, he plays with the best orchestras of the world. Yet this is the first time he is directing a production. The opera Eugene Onegin by Pyotr Tchaikovsky has practically century-old traditions, but a whole multitude of approaches and methods have become standardized. Timirkanov persistently works to get down to the very essence, to the genius of Pushkin's poetry and the music of Tchaikovsky.
Девочки, можно и этим обращаюсь,
Я сам.
The director has a lot of responsibility to interpret the score, determine the stage sets, the choice of artists. Luckily, their age coincides with that of their heroes.
Боже!
Боже, что со мной?
Пусть они останутся там, вы подойдете и прыгаете, посадите ее. Хорошо? За вторым разом. За вторым разом, да. Когда она начнет, когда она побежит хлопать, вы подойдите, возьмите стульчик и возьмете. Да.
Rehearsals are held every day, and whole scenes are beginning to shape up.
Внимание на дирижера! Учил я впервые.
Lenski is played by Yuri Marusin. He trained in Milan, and at the invitation of La Scala, regularly appears on the Italian stage.
Но сегодня... Наедине! Своей душой! Я изведал жизнь. Над этой страстью честный звук. Причина. Не может оскорбительный. Понятие меня. Да, оскорбительный. Жалкий.
Буквально несколько и без паузы. Без паузы? Да. Да. Темп принимать надо.
rehearsal after another, and gradually, thanks to the efforts of scores of people, the production begins to materialize. And then comes opening night.
Влюблен, как мальчик, полный страсти юной, пускай погибла я, но прежде я в ослепительной надежде душу волшебных желаний уплюсь несбыточной мечтой, везде он передо мной, образ желанный дорогой, везде он предо мной.
Tatiana Ladina is played by Larisa Shevchenko, Onegin by Sergei Leferkus. The first premiere of the Jubilee season became the jewel of Russian classical opera and genuine artistic discovery. I'm always a bit nervous before the curtain goes up. Even when I'm only conducting, I'm still nervous because a conductor, even if he does not direct the production, he nevertheless is responsible for its success. But if you direct a production, if you take such responsibility on yourself, you must also think of what is going on in the orchestra, how to build the production musically. And involuntarily, you are on stage all the time, because every movement is something that you have gone through yourself. During the presentation, depending on how the actor walks across the stage, how he plays, how he sings this or that phrase, I am compelled to pick up after him and continue building the next musical phrase. It dovetails to such an extent that depending on how an actor moves, how suddenly he gets to his knee before his heroine, how he appears, all this gives me a musical impulse that the orchestra must play. The theater's present-day achievements are to a great extent linked with the name of the chief conductor, Yuri Temirkanov.
Вы знаете, проще всего, наверное, быть максималистом.
It would be simpler, probably, to be a maximalist and think that you can be guided only by the interests of the arts in determining the destiny of the performers. And I think one would be justified before the cause which one serves.
Но мне кажется, что если забыть, что люди зависят...
But I think that if you forget that the destiny of people depends on you, then you will be able to accomplish nothing in the arts. Of course, the destiny of the theater, the destiny of the cause which we serve is also important. But I think the people are more important. Soon the third bell will ring. The orchestra is already in the pit. High-quality professionalism, striking performance, and the beauty of sound distinguish its work. Exactly at 7:30 p.m., with an accuracy of half a minute, the luxurious curtain, the work of painter Golovin, rises over the stage. Getting ready to appear on the stage as Odetta is Galina Mezentseva, and her partner today will be Konstantin Zaklinsky. A few more minutes and a poetic legend about a bewitched girl swan, about love and faithfulness, will unfold before the audience. majestic work of Tchaikovsky, Petipa, Ivanov, the classic among classics.
Ходим, что ли, с ним?
Two centuries. This theater is rightfully called the pride of our nation's culture. Throughout all these years of its glorious history, it advocated on its stage the great ideals of goodness, truth, and beauty. Every evening at the same time. The night will pass and a full working day will be over, will be filled with music and voices, And once again, we will find ourselves in the wonderful, unique world called the theater. Script, Pavel Kogan and Taisa Janssen. Direction, Ludmila Stanukinas and Vladimir Diakonov. Camera, Vladimir Diakonov and Nikolai Volkov.